Hello my funny family, welcome back to another episode of Mac Music Review. In this episode, I am again wearing a Chick-fil-A shirt. But the most important thing, the thing I wanted to say was, it's been a very long time since we've gotten back to the main reviews on the channel. Like, I review all of those albums listed in the comments, listed in the description for the video. And after I finished King's Kaleidoscope, which rounded out the K's, the artist with the first letter K in the artist name, I just did a bunch of special videos, and then I started doing the is this a that series, like is this a 10 or is this a 0, all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing that for a while, and I think I should just, I kind of want to head back and knock out all the L's, and then maybe come back, or at least finish up all the Lecrae albums, and then I'll go back to doing like different videos and doing like more entries in is this or that. But I just thought, I want to finish all the albums I've already reviewed, like on AllMusic. Let's just, I want to knock them out so I can, be free to review whatever, and not just on is this or that. Anyway, today we're looking at the album After the Music Stops by Lecrae, and this is the album cover. After the Music Stops is the sophomore album for Lecrae, and it's got 18 tracks on it. 18 tracks, which is a lot. 18 is a lot of songs to have on an album. And this is a problem that you see with secular rap music, is a lot of artists, especially nowadays, it was around back then, but in the 2000s, especially in the 2010s, like, rappers just overload their tracks. Migos and a bunch of rappers. Quality Control just puts out so many. Is that what it's called? Quality Control? I think that's what it's called. They like do 30-song albums. Anyway, this got 17 full-length songs. One of the tracks, King Intro, is an intro to the song The King. Obviously, you can tell from the title. But 17 songs is a lot. A lot of music to digest. This is, I think it's his longest album. I think this is Lecrae's longest album. And it is his sophomore album, the second album he has made. He's made a lot of albums since this one and since his first album. This is his second album. This, by any stretch of the imagination, is really not a very good album. It's really not. It's very bloated. And the beats on this thing... Okay, so the lyrics... First, let's talk about the lyrics. The lyrics are extremely overtly preachy and Christian. Extremely explicitly Christian. Which is crazy when you listen to this and listen to modern Lecrae, who's like collabing with like not T-Pain, Ty Dolla $ign, and he's trying to, do a song with Kendrick, and, that's not that weird. But he's like trying to get into the world of secular rap music, and he's trying to be much less explicit about it. He's like the one that says, I'm not a Christian rapper, I'm just a rapper who's a Christian. He likes to say that. And he's the forefront of being more progressive when it comes to being like less overtly Christian in Christian music. That's what he's like all about now, is what it seems like. But this album is so explicitly Christian, like Real Talk, the album before it, and the album after it, Rebel. They're all very explicitly preachy and Christian. And it's to the point of being cringe. Very, very cringe. To the point where every single line is about, bro, don't do drugs, and Jesus is cool, bro. And it's literally like, it's so in your face. And like, if you're not a Christian, you will absolutely despise this album. I guarantee you are gonna, especially if you get annoyed by people like preaching to you, you will hate this album. There's a lot of cringe to go around in the lyrics of this album, but the music is also cringy. This album suffers from a lot of things that 2000s pop and rap music suffered from in the 2000s, which is extremely cringy, horrible electronic music that has aged terribly. There was some really good electronic music in the 2000s. You had the Avalanches, you had Daft Punk, and then you had, the Black Eyed Peas and a bunch of rappers making this intolerable music. And let's just go through a trip of all the really bad music on this album, just to give you guys a taste of how awful this thing is. I'm not going to play the songs because I don't know how to do that, because I'm filming. I would like do it on my phone or whatever, but I film with my phone. So let me just tell you about some of the awful music on this album. The title track is After the Music Stops, and it's the only song on the album that does this, and it stands out for this. It has this terrible rock rap. If you're not Eminem, don't try it, because no one can do it as well as he did. And you know, people don't really do this anymore, but it's this rock chords, hard rock, but it's a very short sample. And that's what this entire album's like this. The music is this really small bit of music looped 1,000 times. It's so annoying. And it's really bad most of the time. And this is this terrible rock rap, horrible, and it just doesn't stop. It just keeps, it's this little hard rock guitar loop, and it never ends, and it's just making me die. The Truth has a really bad electronic beat. That's all I have to say about that. Run has a very cringe Egyptian, Jamaican, just like Jamaican guy singing it. He's uncredited, probably for good reason. And then you have this horrible Egyptian Arabic style beat, and it's so bad. It's so bad. Send Me is also cringe. It's just, the lyrics on this one especially, it's about being a missionary. It's a rap song about being a missionary, about send me, let me go, send me. And they literally just says that over and over again in the hook. And it's like, oh, you know, it's epic to be a missionary, bro. Do it, bro. You're epic. You're a gangsta if you want to be a missionary. And it's, I can't do it. It's Your World has this awful, super high-pitched guy singing, it's your world. It sounds like that. It's so bad. Not that bad, but pretty close to that. And it says it over and over again. And it just sounds really, really lame hook. It does not sound good. The King has a bad, repetitive beat. Also cringy lyrics. Invisible has an extremely repetitive beat that you're listening to, and at first you're like, oh, this is cool, and then you're like, no, it's not. It's so repetitive, I can't stand this. And then Get Low. Oh man, talk about cringe lyrics. The name of the song is Get Low, but it's not like Get Low as in Dirty Dancing. It's as in Get Low as in get humble, bro. Be humble. And that's what he says in the chorus. He's like, no, dude, I'm not talking about dancing. I'm not talking about being a gangster. I'm talking about being humble, bro. But he says it in like a gangster attitude. Like, get low, bro. Get low for Christ, bro. And it's like, this is cringe. Now, when I'm talking about the bad electronic music, the best example of this, the bad electronic music of the 2000s that was in pop and rap songs, one of the best examples of this, I think, is the song Unashamed on this album. It is right off the bat, like at like 10 seconds in, you hear this beat, and you immediately want to turn it off. It sounds so awful. So bad. El Shaddai is insanely boring. It's like this worshipful song to close out the album. It's supposed to be like a serious song. And I think that would have worked a lot better if the entire album wasn't extremely preachy and extremely overtly Christian. Having this like worshipful Christian song at the end of the album would have been effective. But it's not, because the whole album has been that, basically, and it's super boring. And then Jump is extremely cringe and terrible, super cringe lyrics, super cringe music, just cringe bonus. It's like a bonus track in the album, because El Shaddai, he says in the song, this is the last song. So yeah, so Jump is a bonus song. It's a really bad bonus song. So I guess I can redeem it a couple points because it's a bonus song, so it's like not like, you know, it just kind of barely made the cut, so it's kind of like a B-side, whatever, it's a bad song. Believe it or not, as bad as this album is, as many terrible songs this album has, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. One thing, the lyrics are not the worst thing ever. They're very cringe a lot of the time, but a lot of time him being extremely overt about his faith is okay, and it's good, but a lot of times it just comes across as really preachy. And not in a fun way. I think Real Talk is preachy in a fun way because it's kind of goofy, it's kind of fun to listen to. This isn't fun. This is annoying. This is more annoying than fun. Now, there are some really good songs on this album. I think this song, Jesus Music, featuring Tripoli, another 116 member, a pretty famous Christian rapper, has a solid beat. It's got a pretty cool beat that has aged well. It's pretty interesting, and I liked it. It's repetitive as all the other beats are on this album, but it's a good beat. I Did It For You is a really heartfelt song. The lyrics on this one are really great. Lecrae's performance on this song is really great, and the music is really good. I Did It For You is a really, really solid song, and I would say the same for Praying For You, which is a really, really great song. The lyrics are extremely confessional, and the song has a plot twist at the end. It's kind of a storytelling song where he's like praying for this guy, and he's continuing to pray for him, and then he reveals that he's praying about himself, and he reveals all these problems this guy suffers from. And it's just a really revealing personal song. And Lecrae's really good at making like really revealing personal songs, but it's a really good song. Music is really good. Lecrae's performance is really good. This is a very, very good song. And then you have the song Death Story, which I think is really great. And as the title suggests, it's a story song about Lecrae, or him singing from the perspective of another person, dying. I think they get shot or something. I don't quite remember how it starts. But it's a very investing song. You're really invested in the story because he's like gasping and like freaking out in the song. And like Lecrae does a really great performance on this song. Like he really sells it, of dying and being desperate. And he's like, I think a thing a lot of people would do, he's like dying and he's like, dude, I'm about to die. I should like, confess my sins and stuff. Like from the perspective of someone, even if you're not a Christian, if you're like about to die, you could freak out and be like, okay, I want to go to heaven. I've heard of heaven and hell. I don't want to go to hell. I want to go to heaven. It's kind of him just desperately, and like a nurse walks in, he's like, nurse, what's John 3:16, nurse? I forgot John 3:16. And the nurse tells him, and he's like, oh man. And he's like praying and like desperately, and it's a good song. If you're not a Christian, you might be offended by this song. You might find it kind of insensitive, and because it kind of sort of throws shade at like Islam, which is weird, but I really like this song. It's a good song. All in all, After the Music Stops is an extremely cringe, extremely preachy, lyrically cringe, musically cringe album that has aged terribly. I don't think I would have liked it like by the time it came out. I think I still would have been, And this is what Christian rap was back then. Christian rap was extremely explicitly Christian and extremely preachy. And progressively it's changed. I think it has changed for the better. But, yeah. It's, a lot of terrible songs. It's got 3, I think, of his best songs. Honestly, I think Did It For You, Praying For You, and Death Story are some of the best songs he's ever made, honestly. But really bad project besides those songs. I'm feeling a 1.5 star review for this one. 1.5 stars out of 5. Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to come back to this album. I never do. I never come back to this album. I listened to it a lot when I reviewed it initially, and I listened to it quite a bit when we're preparing for this review, but I really didn't want to, and I tried to find excuses not to listen to it because I don't like it. Now, in the next video, we're going to be looking at All Things Work Together, or is that what it's called? I can't remember the name of the album. His, 2017 album. All Things Work Together? I'm not sure what it is. I don't remember the title. It's like one of Lecrae's newest albums. The one that came out before Let the Trap Say Amen with Zaytoven. So, tune in for that one if you like Lecrae. I have some thoughts on that album, as I do on every album I review. Have a great rest of your day. Don't want to get killed by a wasp right now.